sending children to India to be not treated well.
All right, so let's get into a positive mindset now. Welcome to the tarot class, everybody. My name is Jonathan Maldonado. I've been studying tarot, mystical arts, high magic for over 8 years. I'm in some different mystical orders, some occult orders, and I like to teach based on the zodiac season. So right now, does anyone know what season we're in?
Well, it says it right down.
So what season? Sagittarius season. So yeah, so basically how we do it here is, or how I like to teach is, connect the cards that connect to the zodiac sign, because basically you're connected to the energy that's behind each card. So the last class we went over the Temperance card, that's what connects to Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by
Jupiter.
Jupiter, and the card of the tarot that connects to Jupiter is
The Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. So we basically went over those two cards. So tonight we're going to go into the minors. So we'll be doing the Eight of Wands. So I like to just kind of dive right into it and just kind of see what tells you that this connects to Sagittarius energy, or Sagittarius in general. And there's no wrong answer. Anyone could. Did you raise your hand back there? All the way in the back?
I see kind of a bow, like in the middle of the line across,
Where?
like that line all the way across, horizontal, and then it's almost like an arrow pulling back.
Oh, right here. Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's the first thing I noticed.
And you also see the rainbow up here, or as in Hebrew, kashet, right up top. So this kind of connects to the Tree of Life, we were kind of talking about last time. Does anyone know what the Tree of Life is? Anyone ever heard of it before? Yeah? Yes? Good. Okay. Yeah, so the Tree of Life in the book of Genesis, or in is good. Basically, the emanation of like creation. Basically saying how God created emanation and how each sphere connects to a different mode of consciousness. So a lot of the cards that connect to that, and we'll touch on that a little later. So what else do we see that connects us to Sagittarius? What is it?
The symbol.
The symbol. Okay. Okay. All right. That's a given right there. Anything
Well,
else?
also, of course, like wands.
There we go.
fire
Right.
energy.
Wands, fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rainbow Sagittarius are very like happy-go-lucky, adventurous, fun people. That's how I see them.
Yeah.
So that's what the rainbow makes me think of.
Okay. Good.
Adventure, like, I don't know. There's lines going in all different directions, so. Don't they have like traveling energy?
She said it looks like a star.
Which one? What's the
The whole symbol in the middle, like the lines, it looks like a shape of a star.
Yeah.
That's making a star. All
Yeah, it is, and it's also behind it is an actual 8-pointed figure, right? There's two squares, so
Nice.
each arrow is pointing to each point. So very good. That's good.
Oh yeah.
And it's all coming from a central point too, as well. Okay, so that that should kind of tell you something. Balance comes from within.
It says swiftness.
Swiftness, right?
What is this? I don't know. I'm like jumping
That's fine. Yeah, it's right on the card, right? So.
ahead. Yeah.
Eight of Wands, from what I remember, is also it can be associated like fast moving energy, like sometimes impulsiveness. So that's what the swiftness makes me think of. Just the overall energy of the card.
Mm-hmm. Or could it be like someone's trying to cross the street and a car comes, so you have to be swift to help them? Sometimes being swift could be in a positive outlet. Sometimes you need to be swift. Make swift decisions, right? In a split second, or something can happen. So, what else do we
So
see?
in context,
What is it?
I guess depending on the context too.
Yeah, or like the context or the situation, like what's going on right now. Like if it's cold here, we gotta be swift to turn the heat on, right? So it everything's all relative. What else? Anything else we see?
I was just gonna mention that there's like it all comes up to 8, all the wands basically comes to 8.
Very good, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so, because Eight of Wands, and what the Eight of Wands is actually, this is when Mercury, that's what the symbol's up here, is within Sagittarius. So that's what the minor cards represent, different signs that are within the whatever zodiac sign that they connect to. All right, so let's go to the next card. So just for people that missed it last time, I like to always do a recap of the zodiac sign of Sagittarius.
Are we gonna look at the Rider-Waite one too? For the Eight of Wands or no? Oh,
We'll get to it.
okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I switched it up, starting it with
That's all.
that card, because last time we were really heavy into it. We did all the readings with that card.
Yeah.
So just so people know, the zodiac sign Sagittarius is the Archer. The date range is from November 22nd to December 21st. Some might say it's like a different range. They might say the 20th. Elements fire. It's a mutable sign. The ruling planet is Jupiter, and the symbol is the Archer. It's a centaur with a bow and an arrow. And the mantra is "I seek." So Sagittarius, they're seekers, you know, and they're ruled by Jupiter. So nice background music. So just so we have a little background on Sagittarius, and an interesting thing we found out last time was this is actually one of the only zodiac sign that actually has a weapon. So we thought that was pretty interesting. Any questions on Sagittarius?
That's interesting.
So now we're gonna go to the Rider-Waite
Okay.
deck. So this is interesting because, like, to me, you see swiftness. You see 8 wands in the
Being
air.
thrown.
They're being thrown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the key word is momentum. So when you get this card in a reading, and depending on what the question is or what you're talking about, it represents momentum. So forward movement, or the snowball effect, right? As a snowball goes down the hill, it starts to get bigger with momentum. So sometimes if you're doing magical work or even building a business, you need to get momentum, right? You need to get traction. Same thing with cars and the laws of motion. The key phrase is swift action and progress.
It's like a little hard to tell from the Rider-Waite. I mean, the only way you can really tell is that they're like in the air or kind of like being thrown, is that they're all like, different, lengths, that you're seeing the different lengths of them.
Yeah.
It would be like more apparent if there were lines showing movement, or like if one of them was like you got to see the whole staff, like the whole wand or whatever.
And good point.
Just visual communication wise, it's not super clear.
And it causes you to like use your imagination, right? It causes you to, it's if you see like wands, like they're literally in the sky, you don't see them like some cards like in the ground, right? On some other cards, you might see swords on the ground. You literally see them up. So, but yeah, you're right. It could be a little harder to tell that they're moving. That's why it's meant for people to actually research, and seeking. There you go, right? Yes, Sagittarius is about seeking. So very good. And then I like to put another card in here, and I put the nice basic Boda deck. You can tell the 8 of Wands, but they look like interesting wands too as well. Like looks like maybe this could be like quartz or something.
Or like,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Magic wand.
Yeah, right.
And if you notice, one is white, one is black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we kind of know about that. Opposites within the tree of life. There's 2 pillars. There's the pillar of severity and the pillar of mercy. So those are the pillar of severity is always seen as a black pillar, and mercy is as a white pillar. And the middle path is the way that in any spiritual work is what we should be focusing on, the middle way, meaning balance between both of them.
Is there any symbolic reference to like the wands being thrown from right to left? Because I'm assuming on the left side they're chucking up in the air, right? They're not going downward, right?
It looks like they're kind of going down, right?
Oh, they are going that way.
But then
Okay.
it's also
So that's the momentum kind of build up, like they're hitting faster from left to right.
well, you could see it as clockwise, right? It moves this way.
Oh, gotcha.
You can, right? You can see it that way.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know
you're,
why I thought the other way, like they're getting thrown in the air.
you think they get thrown this way? too?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that, but I guess the momentum makes
Yeah.
sense.
It could be.
I'm not trying to like sound negative or anything.
No,
but
it's
I
okay.
feel like another viewpoint on it can be like a lot of things coming together at once.
That's not negative.
A lot
Yeah. Yeah, think about it too. You know, it's just like usually even number cards are seen as like sometimes positive, right? Always, because it's like a number, you know, you could easily divide it, right? And it could be, you know, 4. But yeah, it could, if you get this card reversed too as well, it could be like you have a lot of stuff coming at you at once, or it could still be, you know, sometimes momentum could be bad in the case of momentum in the wrong way, right? Momentum with maybe poor behaviors, or maybe associating with people or items that don't serve you.
Yeah, like even in like a relationship, like you taking things too fast.
Yeah, a lot of people do that all the time.
You could kind of relate this card to Black Friday.
Really? Okay, I want to hear this one.
Because
What's up, man? How's it going?
it's a lot of momentum. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot of momentum because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of sales.
Oh,
But like you said, it can also be like too much coming at you at once. Because like you were just saying that how it was like overwhelming.
oh yeah.
It was like good,
Right.
but
Oh,
overwhelming.
absolutely.
Yeah. So like even good things can be like there could be the flip side to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like electricity, it's great. We got lights, we have the camera, but if you don't know how to handle it, you start opening the walls up, you can kill yourself.
Right.
So it's like understanding that the power, it's you know, it's like the checkered floor. So it's understanding that, you know, there's energy, but energy could be used, right, in a negative way or a positive way, but you need negative and positive to create a battery,
Regression to the mean.
right? What was that?
It's like regression to the mean.
Yeah. So anything else we see? I know I like to compare them. It's really, to me they're both basic. The only difference is you see, you know, some land in the background and a nice little stream.
This is very different because it almost says to me like looking inwards because
really?
all of them are converging together. You know, they're all.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see it both ways though. You could see it going or coming or going.
I feel
you know?
like the lighter is the positive and the darker is like negative.
And think about it
They're all
too.
coming at the same time.
Negative too means like it's like a space. What it's like you have 0, right? But negative is what on the opposite way, right? So it's almost like within negative space could also be seen as like the no space, like off the tree of life. You know, the space beyond where everything emanated from. So that this could kind of mean that it's a point, and a creation started from one point, and then it expands out.
Also, so in this card, it looks more like branches than wands like the other one. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like
It even has like the
questioning
leaves on it and stuff.
Yeah, so in like magic and high magic circles, like once again, a lot of these cards were created by people that were in very high magical orders, doing, you know, ceremonial magic and whatnot. So within magic and the magician card, on the table you see a wand, and a wand is always represented
wood.
as wood and fire, because what? Because wood
Lights
has
up.
the internal fire that could grow. It has the power naturally to get bigger. And then swords are always metal, because swords and metal you use to like banish and clear space and stuff like that. Any other questions before I go to the next slide? No? Yes?
I mean, for me, I guess, commentary, usually I see this card as like boundaries. Like having
Boundaries.
balance and like making that, like, I guess, making that moves, like pushing yourself to like set them. That's at least how I usually read this card. I mean, that's most of like
How so?
personal. I see it like the wands coming down and like kind of like protecting yourself from like
I can see that. Making like a force field.
like
or
force
something like that.
field kind
Yeah.
of.
Okay.
Like I don't know, I just see it as like whenever I read this card, it's like I see like a how can that be like
Well, key phrase, swift action and progress. So you're making swift action, right? If you're setting boundaries, you have to do it swiftly, right? So if you don't, right? If you don't set boundaries swiftly, or then it's really your own fault
Yeah,
in a way.
makes sense.
All right, so let's talk about Mercury and Sagittarius. That's what this card represents. So Mercury's about quick thinking, right? Mercury's supposed to be the quickest planet. Goes around the sun the quickest, right? Mercury's always seen as the messenger of God during the Greek times. So Mercury's swift intellect combines with Sagittarius' expansive vision, aligning with the rapid momentum of the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is about like speed. That's why the other card was swiftness. Okay. Communication expansion. It also represents fast-paced messages, broad ideas, and global connections. So depending on what kind of reading you get, it could apply to a multifaceted with this card. Spiritual insights. It reflects a focus on philosophical or higher learning, communicated with energy and passion. And also it's action-oriented expression. Mercury in Sagittarius drives direct, purposeful communication, mirrored by the Eight of Wands forward movement. This card's about movement, swift execution, with decisions in all realms of your life. Or it could be in communication, in material. What's interesting is that right now we're in Mercury retrograde, right? So it's interesting how this is the card we're discussing during that time. So kind of, I don't know about you guys, but yesterday I felt it. Communication was crazy. For me, at least, in certain situations.
You too, right?
Oh my God.
What is the communication in retrograde? That's bad communication or good?
Just like poor
Yeah,
communication.
usually it's like 4. Remember, so in past classes, Mercury in retrograde is not a good time to travel, they say.
Start a business.
Anything
like electronics.
You have to be very cautious with communication because stuff could get misconstrued. Like I got into an argument the other day with my boss. It was crazy, and I said stuff I didn't mean to say, and I was just like, and I'm like, I never usually believe that doesn't really affect me, but I felt it yesterday.
Yeah.
When does that end? Mercury retrograde.
On the 15th.
Yeah.
On the full moon. But there's like a shadow phase, so you still kind of feel it for a few weeks, right?
Yeah, I felt it.
Communication's been horrible in the past week.
Oh,
I heard that.
Every relationship I've had is like.
Yeah.
It's Mercury in retrograde, like
My
traveling.
today jumped down my throat, and I was like, "Whoa, buddy!" Yeah.
Yeah.
So random.
It's
I
out
was like,
there.
this is
And
the
you
first
said
time-
he's a chill guy.
He is. It was just the
Yeah,
most
he's
random.
feeling it.
Yes.
Like I heard,
It's
I was listening to a podcast and they basically said, if you plan like a trip in advance,
Mhm.
it's like before the Mercury in retrograde,
You're fine.
you're fine,
Mhm.
but you shouldn't be planning during
Right.
Mercury in
I can't really do
retrograde.
much right now at all.
Yeah, right. Just
Yeah,
stay
just,
home.
like, stay
Just stay
inside,
home, and
actually.
Just learn
Don't
about
talk to
that.
anybody.
Yeah, like how often is Mercury going?
I think this happened to us
Is it like every 6 months?
every 6
right?
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we felt it 6 months ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when the Microsoft thing happened.
Yeah.
Ah.
Remember, that was communication.
That's
I
right.
remember we looked it up because we were like, oh, I wonder if Mercury was in retrograde
And it
then.
was. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. Wow.
That was some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So now I want to kind of dive into what Waite says about the Eight of Wands. So basically, key themes for him was swift action, movement.
You also understand a little bit more about, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like
You don't have to show them the clit, you know.
Like I don't know. Like also
That's
with like
actually
the guys.
hilarious.
If I was to find like another guy, it's just hard to find guys who are like okay with me being masculine, also me going by they them. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I don't know what other word, but
Words are spells
toxic
too.
masculinity.
Also, remember words are spells. It's hard to find stuff if you believe that and if you
Well, yeah.
vocalize
It's
it.
hard
See,
to-
I
hard
do
for
see
me to
both
get out of
sides
that.
to you though, because you're wearing mascara, so you care about how people are
I'm
your
obsessed with
your
people
feminine
see.
beauty, but you're dressed comfortably and utilitarianly
Yeah.
like
But
a man.
there is times where right now I'm a little mixture of the both.
Yeah.
But there'll be times where I fully obviously I look like a girl, but I'm fully my mannerisms are a little bit differently. My clothes are more boy like.
Do you ever wear a suit?
I actually, for one of my proms, I wore a suit, but it was like kind of like more like a woman's suit. 'Cause I didn't want to wear like a full suit, but like.
Well, if it fits a woman, then it has to be cut for a woman. You know.
I think you could definitely find someone like that where, I've just seen it where like the more masculine a guy is, or the more feminine a woman is, she was the more masculine. Where it's
Yeah.
like the two in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I manifested the person. I'm not gonna lie. I manifested them. I wrote out sheets. 10 things I wanted, 10 things I didn't want, and I didn't want a feminine woman. I had in the past. It doesn't really like. I don't really like it. You know what I mean? It's like makes me too masculine. I don't really like that. So I wanted a nice balance.
Yeah.
I
understand.
So that's what I want. And the girl that said we were talking about, she does fighting and jiu-jitsu.
But maybe that's
So
also
it's
like why you have a little bit of trouble, because you know that she is formidable.
And it's a little intimidating, maybe.
Yeah.
Like she's a formidable opponent. so
Oh, in
to
the
speak.
past I had like it was too submissive, where I was like I got everything I wanted. So it's like
Yeah.
and I know it's not good for me long term. But I noticed what I think I need to start doing is like, I think before having an argument with someone, just pull some tarot cards. I feel like conversations go so smooth with tarot. It's like it's like
Yeah.
weird.
I feel like it's good to study your person's birth chart too. That's how you can kind of get to know them as a person.
Yeah.
How they operate.
Yeah.
It helps you, just kind of understanding how to.
Or even
in a
their
relationship.
personality type, like one of those Myers-Briggs or whatever personality tests.
Well,
you know?
I like the soul.
I like disc profiles. Disc profiles is
Yeah.
helpful too as well.
Well, I think it did for me today too. That's good.
It's always good for
When I was-
employment.
the girl that we were talking about, she was the emperor.
When you say like
That's why I'm like, yeah.
That's
I mean, I
really
always
good
think about, like,
manifest
it's hard for me to keep that in
I
mind,
know.
but, like, what you speak about, you bring about. Like, there's sometimes where, like, there's songs I'm like, no, I can't listen to this, like, I don't want to manifest that. But,
songs.
yeah. Like, there's a song by Steve Lacy that's something like that.
Oh my god, I hate
I
that
hate-
song.
I
Every
can't
time that
listen
shit
to
comes
it,
on, I
no.
skip it right away. Who starts a song like
I know.
that? Something bad is gonna happen.
I don't know.
Yeah, because
But to go with what you say, like, what do you bring about, whatever. What do you say you bring about? I feel like it's just hard for me, because of my experience with guys, it's hard for me to kind of let go. Because
you're
it's
basing
like,
on past trauma.
yeah, because it's also like with guys, like, even if they don't show that they're, they don't really like the masculine, the they them stuff, I always have that fear and I hold back. So whenever I'm around a guy, if it's like, I'm like interested in the guy, I mean, sometimes with friends, I'll be like, okay, like, I want to be one of the boys, like, but, I just feel like I hold back a lot because I just stick to the feminine because I get too scared of how they'll react to the masculine.
It sounds
Because I
like
feel like they'll be too intimidated.
You're putting yourself in a box.
Well,
Either
if
way,
they
I think.
are too intimidated, they're just not for you.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
that's how you'll know if you're yourself around them and they don't, respond to that correctly. They're just not for you. The right people will respond to that correctly.
I think labels are very
I do
dangerous.
have very high standards. I know
You
I'm
understand?
listening to them,
As you
right?
should.
I think labels are very dangerous. That's the problem society. I'm this, I'm that, and because I'm this and that, then this person that doesn't use those things might not. But that's a falsity because
Yeah.
I don't use that, but I don't see you a different way. That's not part of my upbringing or my beliefs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change, how I see you. And I think the problem is that we all get into these labels and we just be yourself. Don't be a label. Just be yourself. Whoever you feel like in that moment, be that person, and don't be afraid of what anyone thinks. And try to not be stuck in the past trauma. Just like if I feel feminine, I'm feminine. I don't care because I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
If I need to be masculine, I can be masculine.
I think for me,
You
it's
know?
just like an environmental thing, like the environment that I grew up in, like high school guys.
It's for everyone. It's just psychology 101.
Yeah. Like all this stuff.
It's all
that you're-
about that.
This is what for me is a blessing and a curse because I'm very self-aware. Everything that you're saying, I know that, and I'll tell that to other people, but I don't abide to it myself.
Yeah, practice what you preach.
Everybody does the same
I
shit.
know.
Yeah.
You want to say
I just hate
something?
being
Yes.
self-aware.
Please tell us
Sorry.
your wisdom.
I
I'm
speak
starting
for
to
you.
raise my hand. Yeah, I just wanted to state how I resonate with you. Because I'm gender fluid and I like to
I
express
used to be
myself
gender
in
fluid.
different ways. I was non-binary for
What
a
does
while
that mean?
too. So I know that I'm more feminine energy-wise internally, but I just like to express myself in different ways, and my gender expression of how I present myself is fluid. So like I prefer they them pronouns, and I haven't really told anyone here that, but I do
Oh,
prefer
I'm
it.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
My
I no, it's okay. I just didn't. I don't correct anyone because I'm like, oh, that's a label. Like I don't want to like even
Yeah.
like put they them on me because like I'm just Jay.
Yeah, it's all
I'm
labels.
like
You're
I'm
all
just
human.
like a person, and it doesn't matter.
Do you
Um,
prefer that? Like, would you rather be?
It's like yes. I'm just in a really weird place where it's like she, her, like I don't really care. Like
Okay.
and I'm
That's
like,
my thing, no, that's my thing with men though, because you know I was gender fluid, and then I was like, okay, wait, maybe I don't actually want to be a boy. I'm just in between. You know what I mean? Like I don't want somebody to say, oh, that girl over there. Like if you call me girlfriend, okay, I'm your girlfriend. You know what I mean? But like with the they them thing, it's like same thing what we were talking about before. Not a lot of guys are used to the. I don't want to put a stereotype, but not a lot of guys, in my experience, are used to the they them thing. So I've kind of gotten more lenient with it, but it's also like, okay, all these guys use she her with me. Do I like that, or am I just degrading myself to fit the stereotype of what it's supposed to be with a guy and a girl?
And I think as I've grown into like, honestly, I don't even know what I am. I just like they them pronouns, and that's it. Like
Just be
be
yourself.
myself.
That's it. Be yourself.
And
That's it.
it's just weird because someone who I guess feels this way, it's hard to like date men, and
Yes.
I understand you, because like I think that there's more fluidity with women, at least from my experience.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
Like,
because women are masculine and feminine. With a
Where,
guy, it's
like,
not-
Well, they have the capability to be
Yeah.
masculine and
Because
feminine,
with
but there's
men-
more restrictions for men of
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
you need to like be this way.
Yes.
like
Like
men,
men
can be
cannot.
feminine.
Like it's like if
It's turned into a whole psychology class.
as a woman, like I feel like gender fluid is just being a woman
Men
because
are
women are
feminine.
allowed to.
They just don't show
They
it.
don't show it. But
They
what
are.
I'm saying is
And they
like
don't all show it, but men
I
are feminine.
love guys that are into their.
It's attractive.
Yes, it is. But I feel like
Yeah, but you don't also want a
guys
guy
don't-
who's all the way left either.
yeah, but
No, yeah.
guys
Who's super
only
feminine.
associate
Hey.
that with being. Guys only. I feel like in my brain, guys only associate that with being homosexual.
Should've grabbed a few
Unless like that
bags.
guy's
Excuse me.
acting to their
I'm sorry.
feminine.
Yeah.
They're feminine.
Yes.
They're not having to want to be
Yes, 100%. Because in our society, for a man, I almost like in a way it's harder for a man because you have less gender like
Yeah.
expression.
And
As a woman, you have way more gender expression. Like I used to wear ties. I didn't even
it's more
think of
comfortable being with another girl.
like giving myself like a pronoun or whatever. It was just me expressing who I am, and sometimes I'm masculine, sometimes I'm feminine. You know.
My thing is with the guy, it's just like
No, of course.
You know,
Of course. I know.
if I'm masculine, I tend to be more dominant. Because if I'm masculine, I don't want to just like. For me, because I'm not fully masculine, you know what I mean? It's different for women who are just strictly masculine. But
Yeah,
it's
like masculine
since I
presentation.
change in between the two, like I'm also like I am a very submissive and dominant person. So if I'm masculine, like I feel like being with a guy, I would just completely feel submissive because it's like, okay, you need to be the dominant one. Like that, I feel like you
And
would
sometimes
feel weird if I
That's
was
also
being
your
dominant
like
and
in
was
your
like-
head.
yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like
But that's the
sometimes, like, a
conditioning. That's the
feminine-
conditioning of
Yeah.
society. This 3D world is
Sometimes guys
made-
like a dominant girl, but they
They're
don't.
my favorite.
It's
I
just
love
two
this
completely
flavor.
different things in the straight world and being with.
I mean, you know, in the gay world with men, there's tops and bottoms. There's
Yeah.
tops and
I
bottoms.
feel like it's
in-
worse for
in
men.
straight
I'm gonna
relationships.
cut this now because this is like
I feel like it's worse for men though in that aspect.
back on track. Okay, so now for the next person in the hot seat, we're gonna do a past, present, and future pool. The past card shows the Chariot. So think about what the Chariot means. Okay.
Oh, we're doing past presentation.
Past, yeah, this is our first reading, so I wanted to
Yeah.
do past, present, and future. The present shows dis or work, 3 of dis, and the future shows interference. That's Jupiter in Gemini. So, who would like to come up and do the past? Kevin? Yep. All right, come on up. So this is the doing a past, present, future pool. She asked a question internally. This is the first card that came up for the past. It is the Chariot.
Chariot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just doing the past. Okay. Chariot. So I would say I see the chariot, I think of like victory, you know? That's like the number 6 card. Or the guy holding the wreath, you know, something's being celebrated.
Mm.
I think you know, you get stuff done and you put your mind to it. So we've had some victories in the past. And then, yeah, I would just say, you know, I've never met you before, so I just say like you know, things can get done, and you know, you've accomplished quite a few things in your life thus far. So
Okay,
that's
very
all I
good.
got for the past.
Very good. Now who wants to go for the present card?
I'll do present.
3 of discs. All right, come right up.
I want one after you. Yum yum. Gracias.
3 of Pentacles is this, right? So,
Yeah. Yep.
There's not much in there.
so I feel like in the present you could be working with a lot of different people, collaborating with other people. I feel like that's the phase of your life that you're heading into now. Because 3 of Pentacles only talks about collaboration.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting. Also with the past card, I feel like, based off of like what you were saying to me earlier too, maybe you had to really like balance 2 sides of yourself, like the feminine and the masculine. And I feel like that's leading you into this new phase where you're attracting people who are more balanced within themselves. That's all I got.
What was that card again?
3 of discs.
3 of discs.
It also means work. So this card's about work. If 3, you know, means, you know, Jupiter energy within, I mean Mars energy within Capricorn.
I feel like that card also, because it has like the 3,
Okay.
could also represent the past, present, future. Like
Come right up.
Being
Come up.
aligned. That's all I had to say. Just like being aligned with it, like right now.
We'll
Like,
come to the future.
Do the future card.
This card is Mars energy, so it's like it's calling you
Yo,
to come
Mars.
and
Do it.
complete the, if you so please.
You did fine on the last one. It resonated. Go ahead. Don't be scared. You already did it.
it's complicated.
Just be yourself. Just embrace yourself and just feel it.
I don't know, because I'm so focused on my question, I feel like I'm gonna.
You focus on what?
Because I've had a question in my head this whole time, so I feel like I want my energy.
Are you
for
gonna
that,
forget
so-
the question?
No.
All right, so come on.
This card looks complicated but organized at the same time. Like, there's a lot going on, but there's also simplicity. I guess it could resemble some balance. I also see the number 4 at the top.
So that's the Jupiter.
Isn't 4 for 4 also mean alignment?
Yep.
Does 4 for 4 mean alignment? Or like,
Yeah.
Where is balance, stability?
Yep. Square. Cube.
Quad.
I feel like you'll have things more figured out in the future. Like you'll have everything, like every like concept of yourself, like every part of yourself, like everything that's going on, like it'll all fit together like puzzle pieces. Like it'll all be in unison.
Like it'll all connect in the future.
That's all I know.
Very good. That's good.
That's interesting.
Can I answer the last one?
Yeah, because the last card too is an 8 of Swords, and what it says is interference because it's the Jupiter energy within Gemini. But yes, add to.
So 8 of Swords is also mental imprisonment, and the present card being 3 of Pentacles, who you're working with other people, collaborating with other people. It might make past traumas or past experiences resurface, and you might be experiencing certain feelings resurfacing again that might get you stuck in your head, you know.
Definitely.
So-
I'm sick in my head.
It would be good to remind yourself that you're in a different place now, you're in a safe place now, and that you don't have to go back to the past just because you're being triggered. It's just a mental thing. It's not like where you actually physically are.
And swords usually also represent representational of communication, correct?
Intellect too as well.
Yeah.
So thoughts,
Oh.
communication.
So yeah,
So
that makes a lot
adding
of sense.
to what she was saying, because you know I believe in the universe, and I believe that the universe will continue to put you in the same position until you actually learn how to do it right. So I feel like what she was saying is like, okay, it might bring up all these emotions, but you're maybe a different person in the future than you are now. So maybe when they resurface, you'll have a better way of learning to cope with them and maybe learning why you feel that way now and how to deal with it.
Or stop the cycle.
It's time to refine yourself and understand who you are.
Yeah.
Or harness that energy in a different way than you did before.
Yeah, me, I'm always find myself trapped sometimes mentally, a
okay.
lot of the time. Like, I ask myself so many questions, like, what do I do? Like, that's the question I ask myself. What do I do with this situation? What do I do with my feelings? With how I feel? And, I don't know. Like, and I like start to feel lost, and then I just kind of like, I shut down and I get depressed. So, yeah.
Because you said it sounds like you need direction.
Yeah. And I feel like there's like the answer is like right in front of me, but there's so much stuff blocking it.
Are you like stuck in your head and having the same thoughts over and over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
What's your zodiac sign?
Taurus.
Okay. You know what your rising is?
No, I don't know that stuff.
Okay, it's all right. It's good. It's good to learn it because sometimes there might be a reason on your chart why. Then you can learn so you can kind of transmute it, that energy. You have something to add too before?
Yeah, you raise your hand.
I'm
I'm head out, guys. Thank you, guys.
All right.
See you.
Good
Take
luck.
care. Okay. See you.
That was the complicated way around. I see.
Sometimes you know the answer, but you're scared of it.
That's
Yeah, you don't
also,
wanna hear it.
yeah.
Okay.
I run away.
Those are also communication.
Zero change.
Communication.
We're always changing, right? We're never the same person. We're always changing. Throughout life, you're never the same person. Are you the same person when you were 5?
And don't they say that like all your cells regenerate like in
Yeah.
every 7 years or
It's
something
never
like
the
that?
same cells,
Yeah.
right? When our emotions are they always the same? Are they? No. Yeah.
I feel like it also really depends on the people that you surround yourself with. Because I don't think like I'm just me. I think that my personality is a mixture of all the different things that I've took from other people.
Show me your friends. I'll show you
Oh
the future.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
Yep, it's your tribe. Right? Who you have around your executive board, your tribe is what you will be in 20 years. So pick wisely. Yeah.
I want to get a dandelion tatted on me because I feel like dandelions hold a lot of representation,
Mhm.
like different meanings. So, you know, the dandelion, when you blow it, that's parts of you that are going away, but they plant like their seeds, so they grow elsewhere. So it's either like that, like those parts of you are growing on other people, and same in return, or it's like, okay, well, all this past stuff is going away, and now I'm growing in different places. You know what I mean? Or like different things from inside of me are growing and sprouting elsewhere. That makes sense.
Always. It's always happening. It's just the more you understand how connected you are to everyone else and how much your thoughts, words, and actions create your reality and affect other people's reality, you'll be more cautious to what you think,
Mhm.
say, and do on a daily basis.
It might be good for you to consider journaling what's going on in your head.
Oh my goodness. Every day
Yeah?
I'm journaling, but it's like something that just it will leave.
Well, maybe try a different like way of doing it, like journaling. Pull it up.
I'm
Look it
kind
up.
of like
Or
just
whatever.
isolating myself mainly. When I feel like something is like off, I guess I isolate myself. because
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
I think it's crazy.
That's what depression does.
Fear of the unknown.
So, I was in like a 4-year relationship for a really long time. Like I was like really. I remember I like mentioned that I get really attached. Like when I fall in love, I fall hard. So, and I kind of learned my lesson now, not too like like what you were saying earlier. I forgot his name. Your name.
My-
You were saying earlier to not like. What was that word that he was using for
Conditional or non-conditional?
Yeah, that.
It's
So,
conditions, yeah, sometimes we set conditions.
um, so I kind of learned to like separate that, like not be too attached. Well, I'm still learning because that's why I'm kind of isolating myself from a certain person. At the same time, it feels like I'm holding back because I'm scared because I just got out of something very toxic, and I'm thinking, I'm questioning, should I stay with this person or should I give myself time?
To heal.
Yeah.
I feel like it also goes hand in hand with relationships, like the attachment aspect of like dependency. You know what I mean?
That's
'Cause
also,
me
yeah.
and my ex, we had went on a break because I felt that, I was so dependent on how she made me feel and the actions that she did affected how I felt. That determined how I felt. So I felt that I needed to have my own sense of independency and be okay in my own presence before I can be okay in somebody else's presence. Because then that overbears everything, and then it's only that.
Yeah. Like, that was like my main problem in my past relationship, where I felt like I needed consistency when really I just needed to figure out how to be happy being alone by myself, because whenever I was alone, I would always be like, no, I need to see him. I don't feel happy right now.
So maybe you were submissive in your relationships and you were trying to become who they wanted you to be, rather than just being who you are and even knowing what you want.
Basically. So I'm happy that I met this person and he makes me feel happy. And he tells me that he's patient with me and will give me time. But at the same time, we see each other a lot, and it's like, it's hard for me to separate. Like, I'm already like by myself, and I'm like, I want to see him, and I'm like, I don't know if that's good. I don't know if it's happening.
That's like anxious attachment.
Yeah.
But you also need to.
Like, can you be alone? Like, just have you ever been alone for like 6 months, like fully by yourself and zero?
When I was like single, which was like freshman year. But ever since then, I've just been in relationships and never alone.
Well, that's
So like, the only way to really know yourself is to
Yeah.
be by yourself.
date yourself.
Yep, take yourself on dates.
I feel like you also, with like saying like, oh, I miss him, like I want to see him, you also have to learn how to like control that. Because you need to leave room to miss that person. You know what I mean? It's not healthy to see them every day.
Yeah.
Because even if you're moved in with somebody, you both have your own different lives. You're both going to work at different times. You're doing your own thing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's easier said than done. I mean, I don't buy that all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like definitely finding something that you can do, that you intentionally do for you.
That's
I'm
good.
feeling like body empowerment, like some kind of movement, like either dance or like, I don't know, have you ever considered like doing some sort of like,
Like asana or something like that.
oh, I
Asanas
was
are great,
thinking
love
like
asanas.
dance, like some sort of like empowering.
Like ecstatic dance music.
I
Like,
used to dance
Movement
for
is
years.
good for the, soul, like there's a lot of like even my therapist told me like to do like, certain movements, like it helps you get out certain things or like feel joy or whatever.
You can even just take some little dance classes. Me, I danced for years, but I was in the competition aspect, so it was a blessing and a curse, kind of ruined me because of all the.
Or don't even go to class, turn on your favorite
Yeah.
tunes
That's what I
and
do.
just shake your ass.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you gotta go if you're feeling it in the mode. Sometimes I'll put on house music, love it. That's nice salsa. Sometimes I'll put on, Gregorian chants. It's like whatever you're feeling, just do it. You know, like
You're not thinking about it.
yeah, you just feeling it and just acting on it and just doing whatever makes you feel good. At that
I
moment
went
in
through
time.
many years single, like all through college. I never had a boyfriend, like, you know, and then, you know, part of high school, I didn't have a boy. Like, so there was like a good 5 year period where I was just me making friends. And like, that's how you're going to figure out who you are. Like, because when you, I get this like very hesitant sense from you that you're not fully expressing yourself.
Also, going back to what you were saying about journaling, I think it's funny because you were drawn to this book and it's literally like an astrology diary. So you were also trying to look into your birth chart and you're talking about journaling, so I feel like you're just being called to learn more about yourself. And, like,
Yeah,
starting
look
with maybe your
inward.
birth chart, but also like, you know, written word that might help you more while you're journaling, like help you build a deeper connection with yourself.
Yeah, because the thing is, when you're in a relationship, you're trying to learn about that person. You're not really learning about yourself. So you might, if this person's great, you know, you can take a break and
You can always be friends. You know, it doesn't have
focus.
to be like,
Focus on you and what you figure out what you like, figure out what you want to do. Like, just do whatever you want to do.
You raise your hand first. Right? I don't know.
I was gonna say, someone do like a summary of like 3 cards and like in summary, like this is the past, present, future. Like sometimes Jonathan does it, or like
You know, sometimes I always find myself out telling me the same thing in my head, where I kind of miss like the old me, where I was actually happy with myself.
Oh, okay, that's why
You
the
can't stay in
chariot.
nostalgia of that.
Yeah, because I remember there was a point in life where I was actually happy, and when I was like single, honestly,
Oh, there you go. There's your answer right there.
and I kind of knew what I wanted from myself back then, but then things happened and got in relationships, and I guess
You put their needs above your own.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm that type of person that just like cares more about the other person than myself.
first.
Nope. Yeah.
You have to put your oxygen mask on
You
first
gotta be selfish.
before you help somebody else.
You can't help someone else if your cup's empty. Your cup has to be full.
I learned a lot about that when I became a mother because, like, your child needs you constantly. They're just drawing energy from you. So you have to do things to fill up your cup to make yourself feel better.
This definitely makes me feel better
Yeah.
talking about it and learning about tarot readings. I've been wanting to learn about it actually for a while.
Yay!
You came to the right place.
There you
You came to the
go.
right place.
So, yeah, go at the same time. Okay, I guess you go first.
This isn't okay. This might be calling you out a little bit. I might be wrong. But like,
Be honest with me.
with the journaling thing, like she said that you were looking into your birth chart and whatever, and I feel like for you, the reason that you're doing that is because you want to learn more about yourself, but that's facts. That's right in front of you. It's not something you yourself have to come up with, and I feel like that's where it's hard for journaling, because then you have to actually sit, think about your thoughts, realize, okay, like this is actually what I'm feeling, except for, because like, when you read something else, it's like, okay, well, I'm getting validation from that. That's exactly how I feel. I didn't have to come up with that myself. That's just factual. You know what I mean? But it's, when it comes to journaling, you actually have to sit and think about it. You have to try to validate yourself, which is like the hardest thing to do.
That's true. Normally when I journal, I just like write how I feel in the moment. So let's say I have a bad day and I just write about it.
But why don't you try to like, you write about it, right? When you're all hyped up in emotions, you write about it. But then a couple hours later, you go back and you reread it to reevaluate and be like, okay, well, I think I was feeling
That's
this way
really what I
because
do.
of, you know what I mean?
That's actually what I do. Like, there's moments where I would get into fights with my ex and I would just write how I feel, and then I go back and I'm like, I sound crazy. And
Yeah, I think that's it.
so I would just be like, okay, where was I wrong in this? And, oh yeah, go. So
So I think you really need to balance out like the thinking and the feeling because there's a lot of energy up here, but not much down here. Like I mean, at least it's what I'm getting from you. And again, like the journaling is wonderful, and you should definitely incorporate it and keep it as a part of your routine. But I feel like what would, I mean, maybe benefit you is like stepping out of your head a little bit and more into like just like the present and like expressing yourself. Normally I don't recommend this to people, but like what helped me through my relationship was aerial fitness. It's like very like you have to be present like in every single moment, and it's like a very body positive environment, and I feel like maybe like connecting with your body again might be like really
Yeah,
helpful.
I agree. I agree
I don't
because
know.
that's
I don't really recommend it to people. I don't
why
like
people
hey.
work out because it relieves stress because
Yeah.
you get out of your motherfucking head
Yeah.
and into your body. You need to get into your body.
work
Yeah.
out my emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Fucking hit a bag.
I do want to box.
I agree because for me, like I danced for years and then I quit because of the toxic environment. And now it's like, yeah, I have my music, but I'm so critical of my music. You know what I mean? But it's like when I danced, if I was doing improv, I was just letting it all out. That was my sense of, that was my therapy. You know what I mean? So it's like now I don't have that. Now that's where the struggle. We're like, okay, well, what do I do with myself? I just sit here in my bed all day.
And yeah, it also like gets you moving. It like pushes you.
It releases stuff.
Yeah.
If nothing changes, nothing changes. It's
If
the law of
you-
insanity. You gotta
Why do you think
switch it up.
like CEOs and shit take walks while they're like having meetings?
Mm.
Because you come up with great ideas, like, and you work things out in your head when you're taking a walk and you're feeling your blood pump and yeah, you got this.
Yeah.
And if you are angry, hit it back. It's great.
Oh yeah, I have so much anger in me.
Go to a rage room.
Yo,
I actually want to go to a rage room.
Oh, I did that.
They're
I do
just
too.
so
A rage war.
Me and Jim were
Rage
talking
room.
about that.
They give you a whole bunch
Yeah.
of stuff, you choose your weapon, you just...
We were like breaking down cardboard.
Oh,
We were stomping the fuck out of it. We probably looked crazy.
We did.
I've been wanting to go to one of those. We just break plates and stuff.
You can just freaking do it outside, you know?
I used to take
Yeah, just start with
kickboxing. I took
It'd be
kickboxing
fun.
classes and I loved it. I loved like punching the bag. It was so felt so good afterward. Like when I was depressed, right? Because that's anger inward, right? I was letting the anger out of my body, right?
Yeah.
That helped with my depression.
You gotta
a
release
lot.
it. You have to release it. You can't stay in you. That's how you get unhealthy. You can't stay in that emotion.
Because then I stress eat. So
Yes,
Like
yeah.
what
watch
you were
TV.
saying before, if you don't express how you're feeling in the moment, you push it aside, it's eventually gonna come back up and it's gonna bottle up and it's gonna
Yep.
explode.
The
Yeah.
body keeps the score.
Mhm.
There's a whole book about that, about how your body like holds on to trauma and this and that and the other thing. Like, wow,
That's
you can do this. Maybe even fucking yell.
yeah.
Like in your, like, you know how like they say primal screaming? Just fucking scream
Just, if you're in the car,
someplace.
blast the music and just scream. Maybe hit your steering wheel.
He's singing in my car when I play music and sing along.
I used to
It
listen to
helps.
like Kanye when I was super pissed. Like, and I would just like, you know, because it's all fuck, you know, like it's just angry shit. So like that would help me get my angry energy out too.
What would you listen to?
Kanye.
Kanye? Yo, that's cool.
Yeah.
He lets
Kanye is
his anger out.
So,
Oh,
good reading?
Yeah.
That was really good. I like the advice too. Thank you.
I forgot which album it was.
All right, we're gonna do one last reading.
For-
You want to come up? You have a question?
Yeah.
All right.
You guys.
I'm gonna say it out loud too, so y'all can really call me in.
Alright.
You don't have to if you want to.
Oh, I want to.
Alright.
Sometimes it's a little more powerful if you don't, but if you feel comfortable saying it out loud, then
I'm gonna say the question with the tiniest bit of backstory. Or should I not do that?
I'm gonna
if you're gonna say a question, you know,
Okay, I'll say the question.
we wanna train our intuition to not have to kind of like, we wanna be able to like just flow with it. So say the question, but we don't need a backstory.
Okay.
We can do that.
Should I give us another chance or move on to other people?
Okay, a relationship question.
Like I know I need to heal in the middle of both of those things, but
Have you taken time for self-love?
well, yeah. But it's like after that, do
No,
I
have
give
you,
us another
like,
chance,
taken,
or do
like,
I?
enough time for self-love?
Huh?
Have you taken enough time for self-love? Like, have you taken a couple years?
No.
Okay.
Period. As you should.
All right, so we're gonna do a 3-card pull for you, past, present, and future, okay? And it's the past, very good. So the past shows lust. Okay, that's and also the strength card, the Leo. But on this deck, the variation is more lust. With Babylon, the lady depicted on the lion, or the many-headed being. The present shows dis, so gain, 9 of dis. That's Venus in Virgo. And then the future shows Prince of Cups. So who wants to volunteer to do the past?
Oh, I'll do it. I'm right here.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
So that could also be seen as the strength card, but in this deck, it's called lust.
Lost.
Yeah.
You're like, seems like you got a lot of this, of energy directed at something. You're directing a lot of your energy at something. And it's like almost like taking away your energy for yourself. Because you see here how like she's got all this stuff going on, like, but she's just like, ugh. And I don't know if it's because she's like gratified, or if she's just like exhausted.
Well, with my most recent ex, we grew up in different, like, family type, like, and, I just basically had to beg her for, like, a year for the bare minimum, and, like, force feed it to her.
So you were putting
but I
a
gave
lot
her the
of energy
benefit of
in.
the doubt because I knew that she wasn't used to any of that since been in a relationship, but it kind of took a toll on me, and then I mentally checked out, and then.
Because like, it shows that you're like, because from this I got that you were putting a lot of energy into something,
Yeah.
but not,
Yeah.
and you're just taking away your own energy for
I
yourself.
wasn't reciprocating. Well, getting it.
Okay, cool. I did it right.
Excellent. All right, so now for the present, who wants to come up?
I'm gonna give it a try.
All right,
Yay.
nice. Very good.
So what is this card exactly?
So this is the 9 of disc. So there's multiple discs. The disc connects to like material, like so gain or like wealth in a way. So it just means multiplicity within the material realm.
Okay.
Just kind of just go by what comes to you based on her question about relationships, if you should pursue it again or go with different people, right?
Okay, so. Well, for this card, I feel like since it's present, um, you have like a sense of like you're trying to like gain like say you were saying earlier that you have a hard time, I guess, like finding a guy or something, like in relationships, because you feel like they don't understand your masculinity. So I feel like in game, like trying to find somebody like that understands you, really, yeah, like a person that accepts who you are. That's what you're trying to gain. That's really all I got as a start.
That's good.
That's good.
It takes courage to do it, so you did it. You just jumped right in. So, and now for the future card is the Prince of Cups.
Mike?
Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good with the future, yeah. And try to see if we can tie it in the whole story together.
Okay. No pressure, no pressure.
Yeah. You want to repeat the question again? Mike, you want to repeat the question to you? What she had? Were you here for that before?
No.
Yeah, can you?
Sure, if you want
Please,
to.
yeah.
After I met myself, do I try to pursue this relationship again, or do I try to pursue
For me, it's pretty clear. In your past, you were dealing with some like lower nature, some like animalistic nature. You weren't really tapping into your. That's Kevin in the attic. You weren't really dealing with like your higher self, essentially. It was more like your like feeding into your like animalistic side. That's not necessarily like anything wrong with that, but that's something that you needed to experience to learn deeper parts of yourself. Presently, you're gaining a deeper understanding of yourself now, and you're gaining more like awareness. But then in the future, I see like mastering your like emotions, like taking the first step towards like empowerment and like actually knowing where these feelings and like these like emotions are actually coming from, let alone then just like reacting quickly and things like that as you get in your past and you weren't like as clear. But the future is definitely bright as far as having like dominance over your like emotions and keeping yourself like your cups full.
I feel like that makes sense because I
That's
like
good.
my whole life, like I've never gotten any really exact diagnosis for anything, and I always felt like a crazy person. Like I knew what was happening, but I didn't know why I acted the way that I do, unless it's like a trauma response. But I like finally have like appointments and seeing psychiatrists like figure out what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And I've always told
Again,
my dad,
you're gaining the
Yeah.
understanding
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
really good.
like presently.
Because that's what I told my dad, because he said, I don't want you to try to fix yourself and label yourself. But I said to him, I was like, listen, I don't have to go on medication, I don't have to do all these things.
Yeah. Figure out the root cause. Like
yeah,
go
like, I
go to
just
the root
wanna-
cause. Like you don't have to put like a band-aid on it.
Yeah,
You
like, I
have to
just
figure out
want
why is this bleeding.
The
You know?
reassurance of what I have to learn how to cope with it and learn why I do the things that I do.
Know
Goes
thyself. Yeah, know thyself.
Yeah.
Keep learning about yourself and others. Learn about different zodiac signs. Learn about all different personalities,
Mm-hmm.
and learn about how to deal with these energies, and how to navigate them and how to transmute them.
Mm-hmm.
Because these energies are all there for our benefit.
Yeah. I
All
feel
of
like
them.
when it comes to astrology signs though, I need to get out of the stubbornness of it
Mhm.
because, I've had my fair like say like, okay, Aquariuses and Sagittariuses, I don't have good experiences with the people that I've met
Yeah.
who are those signs. So I feel like I need to get out of that
But it doesn't mean that they're all
stubbornness.
bad. That's what
Yeah,
we call
I feel
logical
like I need
fallacy
to
right there.
Get out of the stubbornness of that.
Because even with signs, if you look at a traditional lover's card sign, there's, I don't know if we have any here. There's a male and a female, and behind the male, which represents your conscious mind, the female's your subconscious mind, right? The internal part. There's a tree with 12 leaves and 3 different color flames, meaning, yes, someone could be Aquarius, but it doesn't mean that all Aquarius is the same because there's you have 3 different type of personalities within each sign. You're Aries, but like one of my exes was an Aries, and there's some similar qualities, similar stuff. She would tell me like in different situations, like I would think I would need to comfort her, but she wanted this, so that there's some common stuff, but then there's a lot of stuff that's like that's different with how she really acts with stuff because we have different rises, we have different moods and stuff. But so I feel like the more you learn that and really truly understand it, you'll be better off because then plus we don't want to prejudge people, but just because of that doesn't mean that just because they don't associate with this doesn't mean we never know what's inside someone's heart, and we never want to imprint what we think they are, because then sometimes you could be very powerful and they could actually act the way that you're thinking, because sometimes we don't know how powerful we are.
Same thing goes with like past trauma, because in this relation, recent relationship, like I would bring my past into it a lot because I was cheated on, but like not my excuse for it, but I didn't know that I was actually being cheated on. I found that out while I was in this relationship, so that kind of took me back a little bit, and that made me like project on that, which kind of like made her be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that, but it's also like, okay, well, you do these certain things that make me think that, you know what I mean? But that's also just bringing the past into the...
And you're creating, just because these are all logical fallacies. I highly recommend you kind of research them, like what different logical fallacies are, because it will really help you to understand how just because it happened to you in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen to you again in the future. Just because a person is going left doesn't mean because they're going left that this. Yeah, sometimes we create these scenarios in our mind, because remember, Aries rules the head, so it's just
don't make any assumptions before like agreements.
Yeah,
or
agreements is
at least be aware.
I have that book.
Read it.
Yeah, read it and live it.
Yeah,
that's the difference. It's in Latin, acta non verba, meaning deeds, not words. Just if we could just be and act more, then we could just say words, because words are great, but words, it's nothing when it comes to like the actual action and behavior and being aware in the present moment, so you don't fall into those subconscious patterns of acting the same way based on past traumas.
It's all about being like aware of yourself. Like awareness is key. Of just like we're all gonna make like assumptions, right? Like I don't care who you are, but being aware when you do.
Yes.
So if you like see like someone just on the street, this guy looks bummy and shit, you're gonna be like, oh, look at this bummy bum or whatever. But being aware, like, wait a second, I'm totally judging this guy. I don't even know this guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be aware the second you do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you take something like personally, be aware when you do. You know, like if you get like triggered, you're like, why the fuck am I getting like triggered? Oh, I'm taking it like personally.
Yeah.
I shouldn't take it personally, you know?
I'm not like fully there, but I am.
You're super
there,
young. Like you have to like give yourself grace. You're still you're gonna be a totally different person at like 29 when you are like 19.
Yeah. I feel like that was also the problem in the relationship, because she's also a year younger than me. Also, she doesn't have the same relationship experience as me, and also different culture. But I feel like my problem with her is that she wasn't aware. Like, she wasn't aware of like how the way that her mom is treating her, it's affecting not only her but the relationship and me. And like, I feel like
that's her journey, you know?
She wasn't
just observe.
Yeah.
Kind of like that's her journey.
Yeah, but I feel like that's also what caused some issues, because it's like, okay, you're on me about being aware and getting a therapist, but you yourself are not aware. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's also controversial. Like,
you want to control your own thoughts, words, and actions. You can't put your will on other people.
I like to say you can't control your action. You can't control your surroundings, only your reactions.
100%.
Yeah, I guess
For the most part.
you can control what you surround yourself with, and you can control where your surroundings are.
Yeah.
You can control being there and not being there, and controlling what's around you.
Yeah.
You can easily say, nope, I'm
But
walking away.
surroundings
people
meaning
say-
like
Yeah, I know.
other
I'm just,
people, kind of also. You know?
no, that's what I'm saying.
Is you can't control all the situations that you're in, but how you respond to them, you can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which will dictate how the situation.
And that's where like
Yeah.
meditation and like being present comes into play. Because if you get to that space of like bliss, you know what that feels like. You know you can go there whenever you want with your breath, right? So something happens and you tense up, or you get mad or pissed or sad or whatever, it has nothing to do with the outside forces or that person or her or this relationship. It's really internal shit within you of how you can deal with it. Because that's where your power is. It's like, he could call me like an asshole right now and it will not even bother me. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just like, you have to get to that like place of like, truly nothing gets you upset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or we're human. I'm not saying to like, like sensitize yourself, but be like aware of when,
I feel
or
like
realize, okay, that's like external. You know what I mean?
I feel like the place that I'm trying to get at.
And I really just have to say this from like a place of love. Like, did you really listen to what I said? Because I feel like you're listening to
Yes,
like respond.
No,
Okay.
I did, because I was about to correlate what I was about to say to
Okay.
that. I feel like the place that I'm trying to get to is that place, because like I heard this saying in a show that I was just watching. It's like you can't be mad at somebody else for your emotions.
Sure,
Like they could have triggered it, but that's at the end of the day it's on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like takes two to tango. They played some
course.
part in it,
Yeah,
but
100%.
it's not.
And you have to look
their
at people
fault.
too, as like they're like your teachers too.
Yeah,
right?
mirrors,
so, like,
right?
Certain,
You
like
attract
everyone's your
what you
mirror.
are.
Yeah.
I really believe in that.
Oh, what was that?
Sometimes
Say that again?
You attract what you are. It's really hard to accept, but it's honestly the
Like
truth.
if you keep attracting the same situation over and over again, it's like, think about it. Why are you attracting that, right? It's like you're vibrating
Universe
on
is
that
trying to teach
frequency.
you a lesson,
Everything's
yeah.
vibrating constantly, right? So if you're vibrating on a certain like frequency, you're subconsciously thinking about things of like, I want this type of person, I want this whole like experience, I want this, and eventually you will attract it.
Even like subconsciously, we're like attracting certain cycles and people.
Yeah.
So, you know, next time like, you're in a situation with someone, it's like I always try to like notice like how that person is mirroring me.
Yeah.
And, like, is it in a good way?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
have a
in,
bad
like, a way
mirroring
where, you know,
problem.
I need to do some like inner work.
But it teaches you to think about
At
it.
least
Like
you're aware.
sometimes
You're aware, that's good.
you attract certain like people to show you what you don't want to be like.
Yes.
So if you think about it, they're your best teachers. Like the people that piss you off, you're just like this fucking person. Like
Yeah.
even people that don't like evolve, you're gonna see like people like if you evolve, which you will, you're gonna see people who don't, and you're gonna be around, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is what I don't want to be this way because this is what it looks like, and it's there for like a reason. So they're your like greatest like teachers. So,
Sometimes it's hard to let go, but maybe that's just because I still need it to be happening. Because like I feel like it also for me just depends on if I'm intimidated by that person or if I'm not intimidated by that person.
Another
'Cause
thing
if
too, past, present, future, right? We just said past, present, future. I like say this like all the time. If you think, dwell, and speak in the past, you're always going to be depressed.
Yes.
Always.
Always.
If you dwell, think, and speak in the present, you're in the future, you're always going to be very like anxious.
Staying in the
But
ground.
dwell, think, and speak right now is awesome, right? Peace.
It's the
That's
only
why
thing
they
that
call it-
exists.
You know
That's
what I
why
mean?
they
So it's
call
like
it
you have the choice
present
constantly.
present.
We all do it. Like I like to talk about the past too, but when I do, it's usually 9 out of 10 times coming from a place of like sorrow or like, oh man, like I miss this chick, or you know, and it's always depressed. Like if you really think, you know, so. You
Yeah,
know,
like
it's
reminiscing.
oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
It's like always your choice. You
It's
don't
always
have to stay there.
bittersweet.
Regrets,
Yeah.
you know.
You don't always have to stay there. And then if you think too far ahead, like, oh, in 3 weeks from now, next year, like what's gonna happen? You're very like, you know what I mean?
Anxious.
Yeah. Versus just like this present moment, I'm dealing with what I got. These are the tools I have right now. Make the best of it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like my like the ADHD and the anxiety is what like prevents me from doing that sometimes because I'm like a really big overthinker. So I
It
kind
could be a gift too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Transmute it. Overthink with the right things that are going to help you in your life.
To also go with what you were saying.
That's
To also go with what you were saying, like I mean, I don't always listen to this myself, but like I always say to other people, like the more negative energy you put out, the more you're gonna receive, and vice versa with positive. The more positive
Sure.
energy you put out, the more you'll receive.
Law of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
This is great, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Excellent job, very nice.
This is almost like a
Excellent
psychology.
I love it.
Yeah.
job. Yeah.
This is great. Do you guys want to do a quick meditation, or what does everyone feel like? Too late?
Well, I gotta go.
Okay.
If you guys wanna, go for it.
No, I'm down to skip it as well. It's up to
Yeah. You know what? Fuck medicine.
I can meditate in my bed.
Oh, this is
Where
great.
I'm gonna meditate.
Did you like?
My phone.
I'm so happy.
Goodness.
Is it gonna die?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's cool.